Ladies and gentlemen, what's up? Welcome back to another episode of the Life's Playbook podcast. Ladies and gentlemen, this is season 4, episode 4 of the show. I am pleased to be joined here today by my co-host, Noah Hawley. I am your host, Quinn Jackson. All who are new to the show, we welcome. Before we get started with today's episode, make sure to download Prize Pick, the most elite sports fantasy app. We're going to be talking about round 2 because it's looking up to be very much different than we had originally predicted. So we're going to be talking about round 2. We're going to be talking about basically a quick little recap of the rest of the series and the first round that finished up, that sort of thing, as well as what the second round is appearing to shape up to be. So with that being said, let's get into today's episode. Starting with a quick little recap, I suppose, of the rest of the other series in the first round that have closed out. The only two series in the first round that are still yet to finish are the Rockets and the Warriors. We will talk about Game 6 yesterday, and the Nuggets and the Clippers. Game 7 is today at 7:30. We will see who advances into the second round. Obviously, if you have not known already, Noah is rocking with the Clippers to advance, and I am rocking with the Nuggets. So we will see tonight who advances. Let's start with arguably, I would argue this one is a little more surprising than the Lakers' first round bounce, which we'll get to. But let's talk about the Pistons and the Knicks series because we both had Pistons upsetting here. And it looked like the Pistons were going to do that. And then it looked like the Knicks were going to shut them out. And then the Pistons fought back for another game. And we thought they were going to take it down to a Game 7. And that was not the case. So let's talk about it. Props to the Pistons, however, for having a phenomenal season as they did. They came a long way.
So
But
yeah,
we thought they
overall,
would go
not
further.
it didn't
Let's
turn
talk
out
about it.
how
What do
we
you think about
predicted
that
it
series
to.
as a whole?
Reason being, Pistons they were never supposed to be in the playoffs in the first place. They were in a rebuild, but besides that, they're a younger team. And they're taking on a bunch of older guys who have playoff experience, and it kind of seems like Jalen Brunson was really doing whatever he wanted during that matchup. I know he had an excellent night every night that he played the Pistons, and that was the factor as to why the Knicks took
No,
that.
he had a
But not a bad
he had
season
an
for the
excellent night
Pistons.
every night.
Some to play off of
And
for
that
them going into next
that was
season.
the factor. That's why they did that. But not a bad season for the Pistons. Some playoff for them going into next. Yeah, definitely a lot to build off of. Again, they came a long way, so nothing taken away from them. Good season. They should consider it a good season, even despite getting bounced in the first round. But you pretty much chalked it up. They didn't really have playoff experience. A lot of new guys going up against a lot of experienced guys. Um, we'll see whether the Knicks are able to continue this pattern in the second round. We'll talk about the Celtics-Knicks series in a little bit, but we'll see if the Knicks are able to continue this pattern. With that being said, we go move on to Game 6 yesterday of the Rockets and the Warriors. Obviously, the Warriors, in surprising fashion, lost that game. So it's looking down like that one's going to come down the wire. I'm going to start first because I originally had the Warriors walking away with this one pretty easily. And now it's like it might not happen, if not happen in the thinnest way possible. All I got to say is Steph, he has not been looking great. He's not been looking great. His supporting cast hasn't been looking great. Jimmy buckets, he's been all right. He's been doing his thing. He's been showing up. But Steph, his performance in general, these past couple games down the stretch have not been great, and that's kind of what led that that's kind of what has led the Rockets to tie this thing up. Obviously, I had the Warriors walking away with this one pretty easily. I thought the experience was going to trump the Rockets team. The Rockets said not today, and they're going to step it up. I will say, though, Jalen Green, on the other hand, hasn't been playing that well either. But I think he's starting to get his groove in the playoffs. He's starting to figure things out. He's definitely leading the Rockets team to where they are now. Game 7 is tomorrow of that series, so we'll see if Steph can get the job done. Or is this going to be the second 3-1 lead that he blows in his entire career? Obviously, the first one was the infamous 2016 finals. So we'll see if this is the second 3-1 series that he blows in his career. I hope it's not the case, because that would not look good for him down the line. As far as all-time career-wise, it would look good. But we'll see. Noah, what do you think about that series?
So yeah, kind of gotta disagree with you with Steph's supporting cast not really doing much. Draymond, he's been doing pretty good defensively. I know in the last game though he did get a flagrant, and that kind of messed him up defensively because that's really their only defensive player. That's Draymond Green. That's his whole personality. And then when it comes to the Rockets, yeah, they're a younger team just like the Pistons are. I do believe that I don't want to be wrong, but I do believe their oldest starter could be Fred VanVleet or Dylan Brooks. But yeah, overall, both teams are playing really well. It's going to come down tomorrow when they're playing on who's going to show up on defense, because these matchups they've been really close scoring wise, I do believe. But yeah, it's going to come down to who wants it more.
The Rockets are doing a fantastic job for the most part on defense and on offense. And I think Jalen Green and the veteran experience of Fred VanVleet is really starting to get things going for this Rockets team. This series overall may have been a sleeper series that maybe I may have slept on, because I thought the Warriors were going to walk away with this one pretty easily. And here we are, down to Game 7. We'll see, like you said, who really wants it. Who's going to walk away with this one. Will there be another surprising first-round exit to the Warriors? Or will there not? That remains to be seen. But there has been one surprising first-round exit, and that is LA. The LA Lakers. We got to talk about it because this is kind of a big thing, especially considering LeBron's stage in his career. So we got to talk. And here we are. Timberwolves advance in the second round to await the winner of the Rockets-Warriors series. Noah, I'm going to let you speak first on this one.
You could argue that people see this coming. I'm going to say I didn't see this coming. LeBron, that could have probably been the last time we're going to see LeBron James on a basketball court as a player. It's just a tough loss for LeBron. He's done great things in his career. A tough way to go out 4-1 against the Timberwolves. But you could argue that his supporting cast didn't really show up like they should have. LeBron, Luka, Austin Reeves. That's a crazy trio. You could argue they could have won it all. And over there in Minnesota, they don't really have that many players. I mean, they have Ant. Ant did extremely well in this matchup, and so did Julius Randle. I don't know. LeBron, he's older. He can't really run with these younger players anymore. But good job to the Timberwolves for advancing. They're starting to call Anthony Edwards the legend killer, because this is the second year in a row where he took out a Hall of Fame legend in the playoffs.
True, and the first time was KD, Phoenix Suns last season. The first time that happened. And now he did it again with LeBron. And if the Warriors advance, he might do it again. If the Warriors advance, we'll
I'll go a little more in depth about the Timberwolves when we talk about the second round, because my opinion on them has drastically shifted. But talking about this series, um, it was definitely surprising. I had the Lakers walking away with this one because I was really high on the Lakers when they traded for Luka. I thought they were going to be kind of an unstoppable force. This series did let us know a lot of things about that roster. It let us know a lot of things about Luka Doncic. Um, Primarily, his defensive side of the ball is, pardon my language, but damn near non-existent. That series did let us know that much. Um, as far as how it looks on LeBron's record, all time, is another thing that them old heads, them Jordan fans are going to use against him, get bounced in the first round. I honestly can't blame LeBron for this because, like you said, he did try. That was the hardest here. Yeah, he put up great numbers every night. So I can't blame LeBron for this. My overall takeaway on the series is the Timberwolves, I think, just had a better team in general. Obviously, when you go out and trade for somebody midway through the season, and Luka Doncic, you don't expect them to click right away in time for the playoffs. And I think the Timberwolves, they knew exactly what to do. They knew exactly who to go after, and they got after. But props to the Timberwolves. Very surprising L for the Lakers. Will this be LeBron's last season? That remains to be seen. I will say, however, if LeBron does choose to come back, I'm not sure if LA is the place for him. I'm not sure if LA is the place for him if he does choose to come back. And if he does stay in LA, they need to do something to fix that roster to stay in LA. Like, they need to drastically change that roster if he decides that. But discussion for another day. We'll see what the Lakers do with the offseason. Enjoy Cancun. With that being said, that brings us to the second round. We got to talk about it. The Thunder still await the winner of the Nuggets game, and the Timberwolves still await the winner of the Rockets Warriors game. So let's talk about it. Let's talk about the newest, most surprising second round matchup that we have: Celtics versus Knicks. So what do you think about it? Who do we like coming out of this one? Yeah, I think I got to agree with you here. I wouldn't be surprised if this turned out to be a 4-2 series, because the Knicks, they showed that they can resurge and get some good licks on. I wouldn't be surprised if this is a 4-2 series, but I agree with you here as well. I think this will primarily be a 4-1 series. You are right about the Knicks being 0-6 against the Celtics. They've kind of been 0-6 against anybody. Again, their skill level or higher. But we'll see. Like you said, this is the playoffs and things are very different. So we'll see if the Knicks flip the script and make this a close series. Definitely a lot tougher than the Magic, and I did say the Magic were giving the Celtics some nightmares for game 2, and then the Celtics pulled away. So we'll see if they do the same thing. But I agree with you. I think this will be a 4-1 series. Moving on, we spoke this matchup into existence. Let's go a little deeper into this matchup. Cavs versus Pacers. Who do we like coming out of this one? We still
So
rocking with the Cavs, or
I don't care what Indiana did
are
to
things a lot
Milwaukee.
tighter
They
after
let them
seeing
get
what
one
they
game
did
on
to the
them.
Bucks?
The Heat didn't even get a single win off of the Cavs, bro. But, this is the playoffs, and we did lose a few matchups to the Pacers at the end of the regular season, when the Cavs just decided to stop playing basketball. So I do feel this matchup will go up to a game 7, given that, they did lose and, I don't know. They need to step up defensively. Tyler Hero, he did say, Darius Garland doesn't play defense, and you said it as well. If Darius Garland steps up on defense, then possibly, this matchup could end sooner. But I can't really say that much, bro. Yeah, Game 7 Cavs.
Yeah, I think I gotta agree with you. I think it's Cavs 6. Again, I've been screaming this from the rooftop. Darius Garland, you got away with that. You got away with all those comments in that series because the Heat were trash. You got away with it. This series is much different. I think it's going to be much tougher. Much tougher. This year's Pacers team is no joke. And I know the Bucks aren't exactly top notch either, but they still packed them up nonetheless. Still packed them up in dominating fashion. And I think they can do the same to us if we, like you said, if we stop playing basketball for a game or two. Darius Garland got away with it, but you ain't going to get away with it this time. You're going to have to start playing defense and be consistent on a nightly basis, as well as Evan Mobley and Jared Allen. We're going to need you guys to be present and dominating on both ends of the floor. Donovan Mitchell, not much to say about you, Bam. Go out there and get us 40 a night. We'll be fine. With that being said, we're gonna move on to the Thunder, the Timberwolves. One more thing about the Pacers Cavs game matchup. The Cavs are 1-3 against the Pacers in the season as a whole. We'll see if things change. I know that's one of the biggest stats that the Pacers fans are throwing at us right now, is that we're 1-3 against them. But that's the regular season, and this is the playoffs. See if things change. But anyways, let's move on to the Timberwolves. I know they don't have a matchup yet, but depending on who wins the Rocket Warrior game tomorrow, do the Timberwolves have a chance against either the Rockets or the Warriors? Let's start with the hypothetical if they play the Warriors. Do we think this is going to be another surprising exit and another Infinity Stone?
Anthony Edwards and his crew take on Steph Curry and Jimmy Butler and Draymond Green, that they will lose that matchup. Anthony Edwards, he's just a dog, bro. Not really much to say about him. He leaves it out in the playoffs. I like his style of play, dude. I love the trash talk. He likes to get under people's skin, and I feel that's gonna mess up Draymond. And if they get Draymond out the game, then it's over. And I see it being like if they do play the Warriors, it could be 4-2, 4-1 Timberwolves.
See it being 4-2, 4-1. The Timberwolves, they're just at 3 all season long. I been showing my distaste towards how they played. Y'all know how I felt about them when we was going over the standings about a couple months ago. I was very, very disappointed where they're at. Here they are, bounced out. One of the toughest teams in the West in this playoff season. The Lakers were one of the toughest teams to beat in the playoffs, and they bounced them out. So having said that, I think there's really, and this is going to be my hot take for the episode, I think the Timberwolves have no barriers in winning a finals, much less the Eastern Conference Finals this year. I don't think the Thunder, if they end up playing the Thunder in the Eastern Conference Finals, I don't think they stand a chance. If they end up playing either the Nuggets or the Clippers in the Eastern Conference Finals, if it gets down to that, none of those teams have a chance. I think the Timberwolves, after eliminating the Lakers, they have a clear path straight to the finals. That's my hot take for this episode. They can beat just about anyone. and everyone after beating the LA. And I know it's LA, and they were dealing with a brand new roster, and they were still trying to figure things out. But that was a tough team. LA was a tough team, and they had a lot of firepower on offense, and they could have made a push. And the Timberwolves eliminating them is kind of a big thing. So I'm rocking. I think the Timberwolves have a straight path to the finals, at least for the West. Not saying they're going to win it, but they have a straight path to the finals in the West. That is my hot take of this episode. Regarding if they play the Warriors, again, I agree with you. I think this could be a 4-2 series. I think they get the job done. Yeah, I think that Lakers bounce, it amounts to quite a bit, and it says a lot about this Timberwolves squad. Joining the Timberwolves hype train. I got to join the Timberwolves hype train on this. Can't go against it. Can't do it. With that being said, let's talk about OKC. Obviously, they don't have a matchup yet either. They await the winner of the Nuggets Clippers.
So yeah, the
Noah,
Thunder are going to play.
what's your opinion on the?
Hang on.
On
The Thunder are going to play the Clippers.
Thunder are going to play.
Okay.
It changed not.
And this is where the Clippers ended, right? I do see the players on the Clippers roster: Harden, Leonard, OG players, man. Hall of Famers for sure. They're going to leave it out there on the court. It's going to go up to a game 7 series. But Shea, he's improved a lot over the years, man. He proved himself to be amongst the top 10 players in the league right now. And, he's not just going to let that go for granted. So it's going to be all out effort right there for him. He's going to go for 50 a night. And game 7. OKC.
We'll see. The Thunder play. Both the Wolves and the Thunder have yet to know who they're going to face. We hope it's the Warriors for the Timberwolves. I'm hoping it's the Nuggets against OKC. So we shall find out. That being said, this is it. This is for Life'sPlaybook podcast. Again, Cavs, got to get the job done. Darius Garland, you ain't going to get away with saying that stuff. You ain't going to get away with saying it no more. We're going to have to step up, play defense. Donovan Mitchell, don't get hurt. Give us 40 a night. We'll be all right.
Yeah, I just want to say that's a crazy take.
Noah, you got anything else you'd like to say?
If the Timberwolves
before we
just
close
so
out?
happen, I'm not going to say just so happen. If the Timberwolves make it to the Western Conference finals where they're playing OKC, they're not going to be OKC, bro. There ain't nobody on that roster. You going to say Rudy Gobert is going to guard Chet Holmgren. I don't think that's happening. Julius Randle, he's not going to be able to. Who is Julius Randle going to guard? He's not stopping Jalen Williams. He's not stopping nobody over there.
Julius Randle, I think he's physical enough to handle Jalen Williams. I think he can do it. And Rudy Gobert, he put up 24 against LA.
Got a center, bro. They got Jackson Hayes.
Got the same
that dude's a bum.
Firepower. It gets down to that.
That's where I stand with
that.
That
is true.
That's a crazy take. It's gonna be
LA,
OKC
y'all
and
gonna have
Cleveland
to fix that
in the finals.
We'll find out. We will see down the line. And if my crazy take burns out, but I gotta do it. They beat LA, and LA is a big deal. They were a big deal, and they did it. So I think they got a clear path straight to the finals. But we'll catch you guys in the next episode. Let us know in the comments down below what y'all think about the round 2 matchups. That being said, guys, season 4, so 5. Peace out.